Hello and thanks for joining us on the weekend edition of National Focus. I'm Kimani Saint-Jean. Coming up, 59 young people join the public service. The Rosa Primary School celebrates literacy and Dominica nationals to benefit from easier access to CSME. Details of these and other stories after the break.
The facts as they are, brought to you every day. Only on GIS Channel 7.
Minister for Education, Honorable Peter Saint-Jean, is encouraging Dominican parents to instill in their children positive social skills which will assist them in contributing meaningfully to the island's development. The minister made the appeal as he addressed the graduation ceremony of the Pierre Charles Secondary School on Thursday.
Young men, you ought to be real masculine in your behavior. Do not allow yourself to be sidetracked by what is happening today in our Dominican society. In fact, it feels good to be a real masculine man. So go out, impact on Dominican society by being a true Dominican masculine male. And young girls, do not allow yourselves to be caught by the things that may come your way. There is nothing wrong being a real young lady by age 25 who is not touched by the abominable life.
And the Prime Minister and the Minister for Finance, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, says he will soon announce the date for the 2013-2014 budget presentation. The Dominica leader told reporters last week that it will be held sometime in July. He explained that due to the global financial crisis, it is becoming increasingly challenging to prepare for the budget presentation.
It's never easy to put a budget together. It's never easy at all. It's very, very difficult because you have fixed costs. You have costs that you know of. Your revenue is projected. So you do not have the money there and say, well, let me see how I can apportion it. You have costs. You must pay salaries. You must provide goods and services. You must fix the roads. You must buy medication. But you're not sure whether you're going to get the money that you need to cover those expenses that you must make. So this is something that people must appreciate and understand. As compared to your home where you know you have a salary and your salary must come. So you're able to budget your expenses. So while expenses are certain, the expenditures are certain, your revenue is not certain. And this is why we have to continue dealing with collection of taxes.
In other news, the Rosa Primary School hosted Literacy Week this week, which culminated in an exhibition. Cyrilla Anselm, English teacher of grades 4, 5, and 6, explained that literacy is an ongoing pursuit at the school, but the exhibition is used to display the students' best pieces. Literacy Week at the school was dubbed Reading Makes You Shine.
Literacy is so very important because when you can read and understand, you can read and comprehend, you can pass on information, then it makes you a better person, it makes you a better student, a student who can think for himself.
Anselm says the school's Literacy Week is intended to help students improve their literacy skills.
The objective of the Literacy Week was to sensitize the students to the importance of literacy, which is reading, writing, viewing, listening, speaking. Okay? And then we set up this exhibition in order to showcase their best pieces. Okay? Now the exhibition consists of exhibits from pre-K all the way up to grade 6.
She also expounded on the importance of literacy in everyday life. Anselm took the time to explain the literacy process. She made mention of the difference between assigning a topic for writing to students and actually taking them step by step through the writing process. According to Anselm, taking students through each step of the writing process will assist them in exploring the potential of becoming great future writers. Carla Lawrence gives her sentiments about writing.
I don't like writing. I love writing because it brings out your emotions. It shows what kind of person you are.
Chelsea Panthe, a grade 6 student, is fascinated by fantasy writing.
They bring me to another place. They bring me to another place. They don't make me feel like normal people. They make me feel like I'm out of this world. I just like to think about poets. I wrote a fantasy story on the day I fell on a brick, and when I woke up, I was in a second dimension. And there were a lot of creatures running behind me, trying to catch me and eat me. But then later on, I fell back on the same stone and woke up, only to realize it was just a dream.
Blessing John Baptist was pleased to give an excerpt from her story.
The Bumblebee That Spoke. I was reading a book when I looked up. There in the window I saw a bumblebee. It flew in circles, then landed on my nose. I yelled, a bee, many times. Then the bee said, "Oh, hush up, little child, you're interrupting my buzzing." I said, "Well, you should first tell me you could talk, little bee." The bee flew into my parents' room unnoticed. It flew and hid under her bed. I said, "Mom, would you believe it? I met a talking bee." She then replied, "Have you been drinking, child?" I went away, murmuring,
"I love literacy. It's fun. Reading makes you shine."
This is the first literacy exhibition put on by the school, and it is expected that this will become an annual event. An additional 59 young professionals officially joined the public service when they completed a 6-week new entrance course. The course was facilitated in 2 sets, 30 individuals in Group 1 and 29 in the second group. The graduates received their certificates of training on Friday morning at the Public Service Training Center. Irma Edwards is Chief Personnel Officer.
As you close one door, as one would say, another door opens. And that door is the opportunity you have been given, first of all, to be gainfully employed. Secondly, to work in a very noble institution. The public service is the only one of its kind in any country. The public service offers or provides critical services to the citizens of any country. If you need to purchase groceries, you have a choice between going to Astafan, between going to Churches, we have Save a Lot, and right across the country you can find a number of commercial entities which will provide you with the services that you need. However, the public service is the only institution, the only offices that you could go to obtain certain services. Therefore, it is important that we who are providing these services, important services, to our family members, to our friends, to our neighbors, to our communities, must see it as a noble profession, must make every effort to ensure that we act professionally, ethically, honestly in all our undertakings, in all of the services that we provide.
Administrative Officer Joycelyn Irish, in her remarks, spoke of the importance of training in service-oriented fields.
In order for an organization to achieve its peak performance, there must be a properly trained and highly skilled, efficient workforce in place. The more developed the human resource means the greater the quality of their output. Training can be described as a planned effort aimed at improving or developing skills in an employee based on the employee's current needs, while development implies creation of opportunities for the employee to assume future responsibilities. Training is hence job-oriented and implies preparation for an occupation or to perform a particular job. Against this background, the Establishment Personnel and Training Department is mandated to ensure that public officers are appropriately trained and developed.
Irish also described the course and what it entailed.
This 6-week new entrance course held from September 3rd to October 10th, 2012, and April 8th to May 16th, 2013, therefore endeavored to empower frontline staff by achieving the following objectives: introduce new public officers to the structure and functions of the public service, provide an understanding of staff rules and conditions of service, acquaint public officers with the requirements and competencies of the job, and improve their communication and customer relations skills in order to offer quality service to the public. The program was delivered in the form of modules, namely Module 1, Introduction to the Public Service, Module 2, Communication and Customer Relations, Module 3, Government Accounting, and Module 4, Government Office Procedures.
The event's featured speaker was Davis Letan, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Lands, Housing, Settlements, and Water Resource Management. He explained to the new entrants that delivering good service is the focus of the public sector.
Over the past months, you have been exposed to a range of subject matters, all aimed at preparing you to become more efficient public officers as you continue to do what I describe a life of service to the people of Dominica. I emphasize service because often we tend to forget that we are primarily employed in the public service to ensure that the citizens of the Commonwealth of Dominica receive the best service in education, health, agriculture, among others. Yes, I tell you, they have a right to receive the best service that we can give.
Carlton Morvan, a new addition to the public service, shared his reaction to the course.
Indeed, I have benefited greatly from this opportunity to learn from more experienced public servants than myself and to gain knowledge beneficial to delivering top-notch performance in my daily tasks, not just at work but in my general daily life. The course to me was more than just what I learned from the lecturers, but also the varying methods of passing on their knowledge to us. I truly enjoyed sitting and listening to the different lecturers and participating in the diverse activities used to better bring about an understanding of the material. The presentations were well done via PowerPoint and in some cases guideline notes on paper highlighting very important points. This in particular made it a lot easier to study and prepare for the test. The lecturers spoke with clarity and for the most part generated captivating discussions which kept my interest in spite of the heat wave that induced sleep on most of the afternoons. So as far as communicating the message to us, I feel that it was well done. Now, more importantly than how the material was presented was the material itself. Truly a cornucopia of useful and applicable information. With no intent to drag my speaking on for too long, I feel that I must relate some of the knowledge passed on to me by the chosen speakers. In my first class, in spite of being 2 days late, I learned about different roles of the various positions within the public service and the chains of command which exist within said organization. And also that, wow, there is an actual dress code within the Public Service Act. That was one of the things that I just did not know.
GIS will bring you more from that event in a subsequent newscast. And Dominicans are being included in a CARICOM project which seeks to ensure Dominicans can participate in the CARICOM single market and economy. The project, named the CARICOM Trade and Competitiveness Project, is being coordinated through the Ministry of Employment, Trade and Diaspora Affairs and will be launched next Tuesday. The Trade and Competitiveness Project has 3 main components. Component 100 addresses ways to simplify CSME processes like acquiring CARICOM skills certificates. Component 300 of the project deals with providing avenues through which Dominicans' input can be involved in the decision-making process of the CSME. From next week, a team comprising officials from CARICOM, consultants, and the OECS secretariats will begin engaging stakeholders on the CARICOM Trade and Competitiveness Project. The project is being funded by the Canadian International Development Agency and the CARICOM Secretariat. Coordinator of the OECS Regional Integration Unit, Elmer Jean Isaac, says there continues to be an interest by the governments of Martinique and Guadeloupe to become participating members of the OECS. Isaac made the comment as she addressed the public discussion on the OECS Economic Union.
We're at the very early stages of seeing how they could possibly become associate members of the OECS. Regional
Trade Policy Advisor to the OECS Secretariat, Alan Paul, explains that while the neighboring French islands are not signatories of CARIFORUM, which includes CARICOM member states and the Dominican Republic, there is an existing economic partnership agreement with this grouping and the European Union.
In that agreement, it provides for that interaction between us as members of CARICOM and Martinique and Guadeloupe. It affords us an opportunity to export duty-free, quota-free products to Martinique and Guadeloupe. Okay? So this is how you can take advantage of the trade between us and Martinique and Guadeloupe, where we can export our items of trade, of goods, duty-free, quota-free. So no duties on the other side. However, we are at liberty to impose tariffs on a range of products coming from Martinique, obviously for revenue purposes. In terms of services, it is slightly different in the sense that you have to look at the schedule that France has agreed to under the treaty. In other words, a service provider from Dominica or the OECS needs to look at the schedule and identify the, I won't call it limitations, but the conditions under which you can sell your service in Martinique or Guadeloupe. So whereas for trading goods, anything you want to export will be accepted on the other side, duty-free, and there's no quota in terms of the amount that you can export. But on the services side, you will have to look at a schedule and see what conditions have been agreed to so that you can sell that service in Martinique or Guadeloupe.
And that's the English segment of the news. Macpherson St. Louis is next with Creole Highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non moins, c'est Macpherson St. Louis. Premièrement, le gouvernement Dominique a facilité plan pour bâtir un pont qui a facilité citoyens Pichelin à l'occasion Health Center et puis l'église catholique plus facile. Parole commitment là sorti du Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt pendant été adressé cérémonie inauguration village council Pichelin semaine passée. Si l'Honorable Skerritt, gouvernement bat village council à 350 000 $ l'argent nous qui est allé financer le projet là. Honorable Skerritt a annoncé aussi que tous ces designs là pour le projet là déjà fini. En même temps aussi membre parlement Honorable Dr. Kenneth Darrow autant plaisir que le projet là qu'a reçu attention du gouvernement. Le gouvernement a aussi déjà financé le projet en l'autre chemin en Pichelin à valeur 100 avec 70 000 $. En autre nouvelle, on campagne qui a mis attention à continuer l'Union économique OECS qui continue. Parole celle-là sortie du commissionnaire Dominique pour OECS, His Excellency Félix Grégoire.
Le gouvernement a décidé pour Economic Union la marché, moun ni pour supporter parce que tout ça nous qu'a fait, ça c'est Prime Minister qu'a fait, ça ministre qu'a fait, c'est pour toute la peuple. C'est pour la peuple là, c'est pas la peuple là, ni pour comprendre, ni pour comprendre, ni pour savoir. Si vous pas d'accord avec habiter, ni pour dire ça. So nous aller, nous dire moun ça qui là déjà. Nous yo dit nous ça yo te que le changer, ça yo te que le mettre dedans pour plus mais parce que c'est bayo nous qu'a fait. So nous ni pour aller tout partout pour parler ba moun, toute l'école, toute commune Dominique, nous qu'a servi tout ça, nous ça servi télévision, radio. Nous dehors.
Reformation gouvernement local qui implémenté en Dominique. Parole celle-là sorti au chef gouvernement local, M. John Fontaine.
Nous avons essayé de mener une loi qui a fait travail gouvernement local plus aisé et plus effectif. En dans le travail réforme, là, nous avons regardé un policy document qui a mené pour une bonne direction du gouvernement local en pays. Nous avons regardé compte WEG, là, il pour house rates, land rates, et bien comme ça. Nous avons différents, c'est communes qui ont fait des différents. Nous avons regardé compte, si nous avons mené ça ensemble. En anglais, nous avons parlé de harmonisation. Nous avons harmonisé bylaws et nous avons harmonisé EPC loi qui a gouverné council. Partiellement, nous avons Roseau City Council Act, nous avons Kenfield Urban Council Act, nous avons Portsmouth Council Act. Nous avons mené ça en Municipalities Act. Et nous avons essayé pour Chebe Carib Council Act. Ça, c'est un council qui est spécial. Et aussi, on parle contre harmonisation of bylaws. Parce que dans toutes ces différentes communes, parmi ces gouvernements locaux, il y a divers et différents puits. Il y a demandé pour CAI, pour house rate. So, nous avons si nous avons réglé ça, si nous avons mangé ça.
Et puis finalement, le programme TIVED qui fait une collaboration pour employer les gens et puis on l'État en Dominique. Parole cela, sorti officier relations publiques pour le programme cela, M. Maflou Blanc.
Yo sa ouvre un business, et le business là, yo s'agit employer 2-3 moun en business là. Et le gouvernement ni bagay en place pour ça, ni on small business unit là, yo ka prêter moun l'argent ou ba moun l'argent pour yo faire business. Et nous besoin moun taper diplôme yo certificat yo pour pas seulement faire business Dominique, mais n'importe pays Caraïbe yo trouver une chance pour travailler, ça lève papier yo. Et pour papier ça là acceptable parce que son papier qui bien reconnaît une institution que le gouvernement la reconnaît à niveau, c'est pas seulement Dominique, à niveau pays là, mais à niveau régional et international. Pour métier là, moun là, ça connaît fait.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nous faire le Creole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est Mac Fousson Saint-Los et un bon week-end. Au revoir.
Let's join Colette Ambo for a recap of the week's headline stories.
Welcome to this week's edition of Flashback. In the headlines this week, the Dominica Cancer Society announced its promotion of an electronic petition to provide more affordable access to cervical cancer screening within the region. Also this week, the governments of Dominica and Argentina signed an agreement to revolutionize cooperation between the countries on a wide range of topics including agriculture, health, sustainable environment management, and small business development. A 4-member delegation led by Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Serres met with representatives of the Agence Française de Développement (AFD) in Paris, France this week to discuss Dominica's geothermal project. On Tuesday, Dominica welcomed the new ambassador from the Republic of Chile, His Excellency Edward Bonilla. Ambassador Bonilla presented his credentials to Dominica's head of state, His Excellency Louis Gillian. Over 60 students of Fairchild Secondary School in Grand Bay bade farewell to their alma mater during the school yearly and prize-giving ceremony on Thursday. And Dominica celebrated 2 centenarians this week. The people of Catibus and Grand Fort turned out in numbers in their respective communities to wish the newest centenarians, Virginia Bam, the Heat, and Edward's Madango Days a happy birthday. Those were the headline stories which made the news this week. Back to you, Kimani.
Thank you, Colette. Do you spend time wondering how you spent your money? That's up next on our tip for the day.
Scary! Everything just shaking and making big creaky noises. Earthquakes, big and small, take place in the Caribbean at least 10 times a year.
The dish is rattling and falling and breaking. Then Vonnie started to scream.
All I could think to do was shout, "Get outside, get out!"
Earthquakes, hazards, take control, reduce your loss. If an earthquake hits, what can you do? Get down, get under an item of furniture like a table. Hold on and stay there until the quake passes. Find out lots more about earthquakes and other hazards at your local disaster office. A message from your National Disaster Office and SEDERA.
Tracking your spending will help you to demystify money. Track your spending by taking account of all your receipts and making notes of all the money you spend from bus fare to grocery shopping on a daily basis. You will gain a sense of power and will no longer feel that money controls you, but that you control money. Sharpening the awareness of your spending habits will allow you to make changes to improve your money situation. When you track your spending, it's important not to make judgments right away. This activity is meant to describe your money habits to help you make the necessary changes in the future. It's easy. Try this for 2 weeks and you will find that it becomes second nature. And that's all for National Focus today. We welcome your suggestions and comments. Please feel free to drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website at news.gov.dm. Friend us on Facebook and be sure to like our GIS Dominica fan page. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Kimani. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.